Welcome to the Final Score Network and the Final Score Podcast, presented by Team Anders Realtors. I'm Andy. He's former NCAA student athlete and co-host.
Ryan, jam! Two-hand monster flush! Off the inbound. Ryan, cam, slam, jam.
Subscribe to us on Podbean, the Apple Podcast Store, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at TheFinalScore35 and TikTok at AGSpartanFan35. Oh, and one more note before we get started.
I'd like to apologize to anyone I've not offended yet. Please be patient. I'll get to you shortly.
Hey folks, welcome into the 124th edition of the TFS Pod, May 15th, 2023. It's PGA Championship Week, Oak Hill, Rochester, New York. Last time I was there was 2013. This will be the 7th major it's held. Looking forward to talking about that later in the pod. NBA playoffs, we're down to 4. No one really cares. NHL playoffs, we're down to 4. Tempting to talk about, but we don't know too much about hockey, but it's just fun to watch in the playoffs. Baseball, swing of things, NBA draft combine going on right now. The lottery's tomorrow night. Fingers crossed the Pistons get the number 1 pick so they can get Wemby, 7'5" center. If people don't know, that's got guard skills. That'd be awesome. Probably won't get the number 1 pick, though. They have a 14% chance at winning the lottery, so we shall see. Reminder, this is the last pod until probably May 29th or 30th, as we'll be gone next week in Hilton Head. Going down there, doing a little R&R. We'll play a little golf, have a few courses to review, and eat some damn good food, and hopefully get burnt and look like lobsters. So we'll get to the podium here. As always, I'll go first. NBA coaching nonsense. If you haven't been following along, Mike Budenholzer, coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, fired last week or 2 weeks ago. Can't remember which one. They won the NBA Finals 2 years ago, and they were the number 1 seed this year, lost to the Heat, who are now in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics. Monty Williams, coach of the Suns, fired by Matt Ishbia, nonetheless. They were in the finals that year against Milwaukee in 2021, and they've had good seasons the last few years. They lost to the Nuggets the other day in 7 games. This is ridiculous. I mean, I can't remember the exact names off the top of my head, but I think it goes back to like 2016 or something. The only 2 coaches that are still coaching that have been in the NBA Finals are Steve Kerr and Eric Spoelstra. The rest of them have been fired from their respective teams. Why? It's the NBA. You don't do anything as a coach. You say who to go in. You manage a roster. It's not like you're drawing up X's and O's too often. It's not like you have to develop these guys. Really, it's simple. I don't know why these guys are getting fired. I get if a team goes like the Pistons, Dwayne Casey stepped down in air quotations after 3 horrible seasons. I get that. Completely understand that. But these teams that have been to the finals, making long playoff runs, have really good seasons, then bow out early in the playoffs. Yeah, if that happens 3 years in a row, sure, I get firing. But 1 season, come on, it's ridiculous. No wonder why there's no accountability with young kids, college football, college basketball, transfer portal. NBA is the same way. It's very reminiscent of EuroLeague soccer. I was told about this earlier, how they switch coaches like that all the time. They just, 1 bad season, you're gone. This isn't soccer. This isn't Europe. This is America. And this is the NBA basketball. Stupid. Just another reason why we don't like the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, what happened to, you noted 2 coaches that have won championships or been in the finals a decent amount over the last decade plus because those programs, those teams hung on to them. It's ridiculous. The epidemic of firing, it's because everything is just overinflated in the win now and, with free agency and the way things get paid, and it's stupid, and it's why fans don't care. Nobody has any loyalty to anything or anybody anymore. For me, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about, give a little pot shot to our least favorite, probably, and this is saying a lot, least favorite Michigan player of all time in any sport, Hunter Dickinson. This was sent to me from a friend, or maybe Ryan, maybe you sent it to me. Somebody sent this to me the other day. He posted on Instagram, or was posted with a picture with a quote, a picture of his ugly ass face with a quote. "The people hating on me would leave their jobs right now for $10,000 increase. I got less than 6 figures a year at Michigan, or at Michigan for the year. Cry me a frickin' river. First of all, you're not there to get paid. I understand NIL. It's horse shit. We've talked about it a million times on this podcast. I'm not going to go into that again. But this right here is the problem with kids today. This is the problem with athletes today. Gimme, 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 me, my. Oh, wow, I didn't make 6 figures. Well, dick, you didn't make 6 figures playing basketball, which you're doing for free and getting an education from a world-class university for free, getting other perks for free. And you talk about people like me who just turned 50, who've worked for 27 years of my life, since college, and probably took me, 18, 19, 20 years to make 6 figures. Now, granted, I started at a time when, $20,000 was a starting salary, so it's a little bit relative, but okay, let's just say for the sake of discussion, I still don't make $200,000 a year, and that would probably be about equivalent if I started at the same time to what you're griping about not making as a basketball player who probably gets his papers written for him, is getting a degree from somewhere, Michigan, Kansas, wherever it might be. I'm so tired of this. And yeah, I'm going to take the pot shot at Dickinson because he's stupid enough to open his mouth. He's stupid enough to do stupid things like wearing a ski mask and make gun signals after the Michigan State shooting when they played at Wisconsin. You're an ass bag, and to complain that you didn't make enough money, this is what's wrong with college sports. And I'm this close to giving up on college sports, which means I'm going to have nothing but playing golf and watching Curb Your Enthusiasm because I am so tired of where we are in society today, and it's all mimicked by these kids, and it's the next generation up is going to be the same way, and the next generation up is going to be worse. I'm tired of it. Somebody fix it. If you don't fix it, I'm going to weasel my way into the system, and I'm going to freaking fix it. I'm going to blow it up, and I'm going to fix it. And we're going to get rid of the ass bags like this and every other ass bag in this country, and we're going to move them out to the middle of nowhere, and we're going to rebuild this place from the ground up. That's my piece.
Go off. No, that's good. Couldn't agree more. Tee up of the week. Speaking of idiots, we talked about this idiot at length a little over a month ago. We're talking about you, Ja Morant, NBA All-Star, gun-toting, gangbanger, wannabe thug. He is stupid. I mean, he's dumber than hell. First and foremost, flashed a gun in his Instagram story a few months back, got suspended. Whatever. And there was a run-in, said he showed a gun to a 14-year-old kid at some pickup game, whatever. Gets suspended for a few games, comes back, plays. This past weekend, gets busted. He's on his Instagram Live, toting the gun again. And he's suspended indefinitely from the team. The NBA is suspending him. I hope they kick him out of the league. They should. This should be
for at least a year. If guys are getting suspended for gambling for seasons and or lifetimes, depending on the sport and who it was and how egregious, you want to knock this stuff off. You want to take out the role models, take out the mouthpieces, the mouthy ass LeBron Jameses, and people will stop mimicking that. Take out the Brittany Griners, and people will stop mimicking and protecting that. Take out the Ja Morants, and people will stop trying to be to that. If you cut off the snake at the head, guess what? The snake dies. So do something about it, NBA. This is why I have zero respect for you. This is why the NBA hasn't been squat since you started to let the softness of Jordan rules come on after the Pistons and the Celtics and the Lakers and the 76ers ruled basketball for about a dozen years and when it was at its prime. Like, get rid of this guy. I don't care how good he is. Cut his contract. There's things in the contract that will allow you, Memphis, to get rid of him and not pay a dime. Is he a phenomenal basketball player? Yep. At what cost? At the cost of future generations? At the cost of your own team? Someone's life? Like, this is similar to the argument that the anti-gun people make about guns kill people, get rid of guns. No. It's assholes like Ja Morant that kill people, not guns. The gun is the weapon. The people are the killers. And people like Ja Morant in today's society, that's who the anti-gun people should be going after, not the gun itself. The Ja Morants of the world are the problem.
Yep. And Mozzie Smith, same situation.
Yep.
You let that stuff happen, let it bleed in, and it just continues. Not good.
Yep.
But it's just preaching to the choir, beating a dead horse. All right, moving on. Par 3. We'll do a little hodgepodge here quick, talk about a few things in sports, and then we'll move on to 2 other fun topics. This came out today. Big news. Let me find the headline was 7 ACC teams talk with conference about possible realignment, expansion, or exit.
That's a big thing. A lot of things in one thing.
And the teams are not small teams in college football. It's not a Cincinnati. It's not a UNLV. Oh no, it's the ACC. Let me find the teams. I can't remember off the top of my head. This week's their spring meetings. They gathered. Let me find.
Let me find the podcast from last year where I predicted 2 mega conferences, the SEC and the Big Ten, with 48 teams each in the NFC, AFC style, and that's where we're going. I'm telling you, it might be 10 or 15 years, but that's where we're going to end up.
Yeah, the schools that are griping: Florida State, Clemson, Miami, North Carolina, Boston College, Syracuse, Wake Forest.
Yeah, those are the
not
big
good.
ones.
Yeah, this is heading into uncharted waters again because of money and greed. College sports will be ruined. It already is ruined, but this is just ruining it even more. It's freaking ridiculous. Thought that was pretty hefty news this morning. Keon Coleman, I saw something that said that he might now come back to Michigan State. What? This guy's.
I've
a
heard
clown.
because the Grand Valley guy that ended up going somewhere, Texas A&M.
Yeah, he's a clown.
So who knows? I don't know. Look,
He's
if
not
you're
gonna
just
come back.
testing and putting your toe in, that tells me you don't want to be a part of the team. I'm sorry, you're a freak athlete. I don't want you on my team. I just don't.
He thinks he's
I don't.
above it.
I don't want people on my team that put themselves in NIL and what's my draft status above playing on the team, because that's what's wrong with college sports. I don't want that at my school. I'd rather have a 7-5 team with no Keon Colemans than a 9-3 team with 5 Keon Colemans.
Yeah. Other big news: Matt Ryan now a CBS analyst for the NFL. It's kind of
You
funny.
can see that he'll do a good job of that. He had a good long career in the NFL.
The A's just reached a deal to develop a new stadium in Las Vegas. That's pretty huge.
That's big news.
All these teams move out of the Bay Area. Down to 4.
I'd move out of Northern California. I'd move out of all of California. California is a cesspool.
Yeah, it's not great. And then in other news, the playoffs for hockey, we're down to 4. Like I said, we've got the Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers.
8 seed, baby.
Going for it. Let's go. I hope the Panthers get them. But Carolina's really good. And then out west, I think we have... Who do we have?
It's got to be Dallas, probably, right?
Dallas and Seattle. No, let me see.
Dallas was
Oh,
playing.
no, Dallas and Seattle are playing tonight. They have Game 7, and then they play the Knights. The winner plays the Vegas Knights. So down to 4, exciting stuff. Playoff hockey, we love it.
Hard to beat it.
Michigan State, basketball-wise, Hogarth and Akins did not get invited to the Combine, which is either a really good thing or they were guaranteed that they're going to get picked. I would venture to guess that Hogarth for sure will come back. Akins is more on the fence, but I think he'll end up coming back in the end.
I got one for you. NBA. I saw something just quickly on TikTok and breeze past it because it had to do with LeBron, but basically fixed, question mark, for the Lakers, question mark, big market, question mark, because of LeBron, question mark, fixed. I don't know. You go figure it out. I hate the NBA anyway, but I'm wondering about that. Here's one that kind of is flying under the radar. on the national sports scene, and it's disgusting. I'm ashamed that people are brushing this under the rug. So go back about a year. I can't remember the guy's name now. He was drafted in a 6th round, a punter from San Diego State.
Matt
Ariza for the Bills. And then he won the Ray Guy. He was, it's rare for a punter to get drafted. Michigan State's Bryce Behringer got drafted this year in the 5th round, which is even better. But this guy gets drafted, and some story comes out that he was a part of a gang rape of an underage teenager. Horrible story, of course. Pay attention to it, of course. But just like the media does with everything these days, everything woke, everything liberal, they immediately tried, convicted, and hung this guy out to dry. Gone from the Bills. I mean, an outrage, a public outcry. How could you ever keep him? Like, he was blacklisted. He was cut from the Bills, lost a season of his career. It turns out he wasn't even there. This didn't happen, at least with him involved. Unbelievable. Where are the national media? Where are you, ESPN, saying, oh my gosh, we are so sorry. We rushed to judgment. We tried, convicted, and hung this guy without all the facts, without knowing. Whatever happened to due process? Whatever happened to your rights in this country to a fair trial? Nope, not anymore, not with the media. And what pisses me off even more than the fact that they did it, because it was, attention grabbing and disgusting, is nobody bothered to apologize for the fact that they effed it up and screwed this guy out of a year of his life, his reputation, etc. Imagine this guy at the bar trying to pick up a girl. What's your name? Oh, you were part of a gang rape. No thanks. Imagine this guy trying to get a job with another NFL team. I don't know. You got kicked off the Bills. They were pretty quick. They must have known something. This guy's life is ruined because of the media. Just like our lives were ruined 3 years ago because of the media with all the COVID BS. I am just disgusted that nobody, except for the more conservative sports outlets, have raised their hand to say, oh my gosh, we messed this up. Not one person has apologized publicly. Not one. And yet the outrage was palpable when this supposedly happened. It's sick. It's disgusting. What, again, in the hell is wrong with people in this world, in this country, in our media? It's despicable. It's despicable. And I hope that this guy can land back on his feet, that somebody will give him a chance if he's that talented and he can get his life put back together, because at 23, 24 years old, somebody Ryan's age, they don't deserve that. Don't deserve it.
Same thing happened to that Sean Oakman.
And yet, John Morant, he can get away with what he got away with several times. Ray Rice can beat his girlfriend in an elevator and he'd be back in the league. What's his nuts? Former running back from Ohio State for the Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott.
Hill,
I mean, the list goes on and on. And we're gonna hang out the gamblers to dry, who aren't even gambling on their own sport or their own team, but we're gonna hang these guys like Matt Ariza, who didn't do anything wrong. We're gonna hang out the dry. The people who, again, don't do anything wrong, but we're going to let the guys go that do the bad stuff. I don't even have the words to say. I'm almost speechless, which is a shocker for me. It's absolutely, it's insane. It's completely insane.
It is. It's horrible. Same thing happened with that Sean Oakman guy from Baylor.
Yep.
He's going to be a great NFL player, 6'7".
Yeah, there was a baseball player in similar shakes. And I get it. Right, do your due process, do your due justice. Maybe suspend the guy while you're doing an investigation, or you kind of keep it quiet. But teams need to do a better job of protecting these guys too, because you're assuming he's guilty too. I hope he sues everybody that was involved. I hope he sues the Bills. I hope he sues the NFL. I hope he sues the media. I hope he sues ESPN and puts him out of business. I hope he sues the people who accused him wrongly. That's the only way that it's going to hit back, is when you hit them back in the wallet. Sad but true.
Yeah, very sad but true. All right.
Second
shot number 2, Mount Rushmore.
All right, a good one from Chris. Mount Rushmore, a two-parter, a different two-parter for us. So Chris says, He wants my Perlis era and my Heathcote era Mount Rushmores, and he wants Ryan's Izzo era and D'Antonio era Mount Rushmore. So no crossover. So let's take football first, Ryan. For my Mount Rushmore, best 4 players. Now, I didn't necessarily follow all of them. I mean, you're talking 83 is when Perlis first started, so I was 10 years old. I know a lot more about Michigan State from about age 16 on, but we'll just say for me, I got to go with, for sure, Percy Snow. Just a freak tackling machine. I've got to go with Lorenzo White. Yes, he carried the ball 700 times a game, but dude was just a stud. He was a workhorse. He could break the long ones. He could get the 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I mean, the joke used to be Lorenzo left, Lorenzo right, Lorenzo up the middle, either punt or that was first down, right? Captain agrees. So Lorenzo White right up there too. He's also in the rafters. Another one that I got to go for in the Perlis era, I'm going to go with another electric running back, Blake Ezor.
Played with Lorenzo.
7, for a little bit of overlap. 7 touchdowns in a game against Northwestern. It's too bad that he was a professional shoplifter, and among other things. But out of Vegas, just another phenomenal running back. Had a great season. And really, 1989 is, I think, the season that really stands out to me. That he really, really went off. And I think for my 4th one, I mean, there are just a lot of good, just solid players in the Perlis era. But here's one that had a really good career in the NFL. And had he played in today's era, probably would have all of Michigan State's receiving records, and that's Andre Rison. I mean, the guy was an absolute freak with a team that threw it about 10 times a game. I mean, he'd go up and get 8 of them for 100 and some yards. He had an amazing catch off a jump pass, I think it was, in the Rose Bowl. He had a 200-plus yard game in the Gator Bowl against Georgia, and I believe it was like 88, 89 era, right around in there. But those are my 4 Perlis era guys for sure.
Nice. Yeah, those are all. Who did he play for in the NFL? The Ravens, maybe?
He played for Rison. He played for a few. He played for the Falcons. He played for a handful of teams, but yeah, he had a solid NFL career too.
I want to see who he played for.
Might have played for the Browns.
He was in jail, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was married to one of the Salt and Pepper chicks.
Colts, Falcons, Browns, Jags, Packers.
Oh yeah,
Chiefs,
the Packers. That's right.
Raiders. Played for a lot of teams.
Yeah, played for
Won
a lot
the
of
Super
teams.
Bowl with the Packers.
Oh, that's right. The one year Rodgers won it. Or was it with Favre? That's right, Favre. That's right.
Yep. All right. The Antonio era.
Yep, you go.
Man, this is tough. But I came with 4. Kirk Cousins. Kind of the...
Still probably my all-time favorite
the
Spartan.
rock, just the foundation of kickstarting the glory years of the Antonio era. Lowly recruited guy, 3-year captain, 3-year starter, beloved by his teammates, great person.
4-0 against Michigan.
Yep, did the speech at the Big Ten Media Day for all student athletes. Just a stand-up guy, great man.
Still have a handwritten thank you note from him.
He's a really good quarterback. He's a winner. And he's done really well for himself in the NFL. Opposite kind of human being, but what was he, 35-4 as a starter? Connor Cook. I mean, that dude could game. He could win. He could win. He was a jerk. Never was a captain. 3-year starter.
Day, Bo
Callahan.
Bo Callahan.
Never amounted to anything in the NFL, but good Lord, he could win, and he could make big-time plays. He would have that one play where you want to have it back, throw an interception, and he'd come down and just game.
Part of the most successful 3-year era in Michigan State history.
13-1, 11-2, 12 and whatever, 12 and 2.
12 and 2, yeah.
Unbelievable winner. The last 2 were harder for me, but Le'Veon Bell has got to be on there for me. 3-year starter, Got better as time went on. Really good
Another
to see him
two-star
back. Lowly recruited. His junior year, he was an absolute workhorse. He had like almost 1,800 yards rushing, almost 20 touchdowns. Got the ball a ton. He's a beast, hurdling machine, truck people, stiff arm. He was that offense that year in 2012. And then my last one, I wanted to do a defensive guy. I had it between two, but I picked another guy that was kind of the cornerstone of the Michigan State early defenses under D'Antoni. He'd rack up 100-plus tackles with ease. Greg Jones, very underrated, another under-recruited guy. Loved Greg Jones. He epitomized Michigan State football. My honorable mentions, if anyone's wondering, was Javon Ringer. He's only there for 2 years under D'Antonio, but still amazing player. Then the other guy I had it down to with Jones was Shalik Calhoun, 3-year beast. And I had Darquez Denard and B.J. Cunningham also in my honorable mention.
A lot of good ones in D'Antonio.
Yeah, lots of good ones.
I didn't even think through a honorable mention, but a lot of good players at Michigan State too. Under Perlis even back in the day, a lot of NFL caliber guys. Maybe more NFL caliber guys than Michigan State had overall success, but great eras for sure. All right, so let's go to the basketball part of that question. Heathcote and Izzo, both a long extended period as head coach. Obviously, Izzo's been there a little bit longer now. An obvious one, for sure. Magic Johnson, first national championship for the program. Still, when people think about Michigan State in general, they think about Magic Johnson. Yep. Just an ambassador for the university, a phenomenal guy. And an amazing basketball player, both in the college and in the pros. I got to go with Scott Skiles. I watched this kid when I was a kid in Plymouth, Indiana. Judd went to go look at him, and he's like, "What? Who am I looking at?" And then he went off, won the state championship in Little Plymouth, Indiana.
50 points or something.
Just if they had the 3-point line. They had it just his senior year. If they had it all 4 years, he would probably be the leading scorer in all-time history at Michigan State. I mean, the dude still has the NBA record for most assists in a game at 32. I remember watching that game. He could drop dimes. He could talk trash with the best of them, and he's just kind of a quasi-pudgy 6'1" white guy. Got into all kinds of trouble off the court, coke and DUI and whatever else. Dude could shoot. Dude could pass. I mean, he had a long NBA career. He coached in the NBA. He had the fire. He's definitely on my Heathcote Mount Rushmore. Then I'm going to move on to Steve Smith, probably the finest gentleman associated with Michigan State athletics, period, across the board. Another phenomenal scorer. Another in the vein of Magic, a tall point guard, 6'7", 6'8". Not really all that highly recruited, kind of a skinny, gangly guy that just ended up being a machine. Really was kind of the resurgence of Michigan State basketball when they won the Big Ten in 90. Got screwed that year in the Sweet 16 against Georgia Tech. Probably would have been a Final Four team that year. Smitty, all the things he's done off the court as well. And then for my fourth one, I'm going to go with Steve Pullen. No, sorry, Polo, no offense, but I'm going to go with Sean Respert. He was a redshirt freshman my freshman year, so I got to watch him all 4 years. Still hard-pressed to find a sweeter shooter than Respert. Once 31, 32, 33 points and a half against Michigan to win at Chrysler. Dude just was a gamer. Another guy, kind of like in the days there that flew under the radar a little bit. When Michigan players were getting paid to go to Michigan before NIL was a thing, and Izzo and Heathcote were losing out on these recruits. It was the guys like Smitty who was good. Obviously, had a great NBA career, but nobody was paying to come there. And Respert, who's same thing. Those are the guys that took Michigan State to new places, and Sean Respert was just another upstanding guy too, and got drafted I think 7th in the NBA draft that year, and then ended up having stomach cancer, and now I think he's like a director of basketball ops or something like that. He's still in the game.
Stuff with the game stuff.
Phenomenal guys. So those are my 4 Heathcote guys.
Could have gone Kelser, Jay Vincent as a long.
Yeah, I could have gone.
List.
There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of really great players.
Unbelievable.
Kevin Willis.
He played in the NBA for a long time.
Yeah.
Hawks, right?
Yep.
Among others.
Yep. Mostly the Hawks.
All right, Izzo era. Well, you have to start with Mateen Cleaves, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The Magic Johnson of his era from Michigan State.
Yep.
Leader, national title, great player. Actually, a really super nice guy. Didn't really amount to much in the NBA. Was kind of hurt.
Yeah, I mean, old boy Cherry used to tell me that had he not, been in that rollover accident which kind of blew the lid on Michigan, off of Michigan's cheating scandal and broke his back, he's like, he was one of the best athletes that you'd ever see. Like, he could throw down two-handed and whatever else, and then, like, he still ended up having obviously a phenomenal career, but you think about that back injury, and what a bad back
would have
does to
stayed
you.
in 4 years, though.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean,
right.
he probably could have. He was told me that he was thinking about playing college football as well, being a quarterback.
Yeah, he was. I remember Florida State really wanted him to play quarterback. Bobby
Charlie
Bowden.
Ward.
Yep.
Charlie Ward played in the NBA and the NFL, so pretty cool. But second, Cash Money. He's
robbed out of a chance to
his
win the
number
national title.
deserves to be in the rafters. I don't care what anyone says. His number deserves
Special
to be up
player.
there. Special player, not a great athlete in the least bit, just a really, really good basketball player. Savvy, just his IQ is through the
Assassin.
roof. Cold-blooded.
Angles.
Yeah, just great passer, all-time assist leader in Michigan State Big Ten history. Probably could have shattered. He could have probably gotten close to getting the top 10, top 5 all-time in NCAA record if he had been able to play. Probably, I mean, if you think about it, a maximum of
Probably
7 more games.
Yeah, it could have been 7 or more games. Yeah.
I'd say probably at least 4 more. So he could have made some big noise, but nonetheless, great player. And he's doing well over in Germany right now. He's killing it at the highest level over there. The other two were hard-ish, but I got to go Denzel, another just really, really good basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
Just got better as his career went on. Michigan State senior is very special. First-team All-American, won a lot of awards. He's so good. Could shoot it. Really good passer.
Another
really good
assassin.
rebounder.
Triple-double guy.
Yeah, just he stuffed the stat sheet. He's just fun to watch. Clutch jumpers, tough jumpers. That little running push floater that he had that was lethal. The king of the no-look pass. Just so good. Last one, my boy, Dancing Bear, Draymond Green. Another guy that epitomizes Michigan State basketball. Chubby guy, didn't play a ton as a freshman, started playing really well as a sophomore, was really good as a junior, then as a senior, broke out, became a NBA pick, and he makes a hell of a lot of money in the NBA, playing for the Warriors. So, and his numbers retired, but unbelievable. Lowly recruit. I mean, he's like a 4-star. He was going to maybe go to Kentucky, right, with Tubby.
Tubby, yep.
And then Tubby went to Minnesota. Honorable mention, Charlie Bell obviously could be in there. Mo Pete, Kalen Lucas, really good. And then a guy that I always say is severely underrated, top 10 all-time points, Paul Davis.
Yeah.
He's like one of the first guys I remember watching when I was little. Really, really
Could
good
score,
player.
could rebound, yeah.
Yeah, big
Really
fella.
good player.
Big fella. All right, that's second shot.
Yeah, second shot. All right. Quick word from our presenting sponsor. Team Anders Realty will help you find the home that best fits your needs and make the process simple and fun along the way. The Anders have served thousands of clients over 30-plus years in the Grand Rapids, Michigan area and are here to serve you today. Learn more at teamanders.com.
All right. Third and final
Third
shot of
shot.
par 3. It's golf time. We can talk real quick about the Bluffs. Played there this past weekend. Thank you, Munna, for a wonderful Christmas gift. That was so fun.
Another beautiful May day up there. I mean, it was crappy. It was rainy here, and it was like pushing 80 up there. A little bit of hazy sun. A little wind this year. Probably the most wind that I can remember.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty windy.
The only bad thing was I came home with 3 ticks on me. I've never had ticks on me in my life, and that was not even with the dune grass being all that tall, but it was, yeah, I mean, that course is just like, if you haven't played there, just suck it up and spend the money. I mean, you can go at this time of the year, it's $170 for 18. You can easily play, I mean, I'm sure their tee times start probably around 7 and they go, you can go pretty late. You can probably really on a clearish day.
Far west.
It's far west, a little bit north. I mean, you can finish probably a little bit after 9.
Yeah, probably.
If it's a clear day. If it's cloudy day, maybe not so much.
We did the first time that we played there, and it was mid-October at like 8:30.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so it's the course in Michigan. There's a lot of we're blessed with a lot of great courses in Michigan. I mean,
a lot of really good public dunes, and some really good
courses around West Michigan. I don't know the east side of the state as much, but there's just courses everywhere. But I'm telling you, there is nothing like this. It is as close as we're going to get to Pebble Beach. Of course, you can see the water and the views from just about all but like 2 or 3 holes. I mean, you're going towards or near the water all over the golf course. Pictures galore. And here's the thing: is like it was almost a 5-hour round that felt like about a 3-hour round. It's like It's such an unrushed round of golf. You don't even realize that it's taking that long because the pace is fine. You're not waiting for anybody. You're moving along. You're playing at just a totally fine pace. But it's like you're also enjoying every second of it. So you're soaking up soaking it all up. We got paired with a nice older father-son, because their tee sheet is jammed, and we had a great time. It was their first time, so we could kind of get a little bit of tutelage around the course. For Sam, it was a good chance to experience a 5-putt at the end. I told him a couple times how I'd 5-putted a couple holes the first time I played, and then he got to experience it on the 18th hole, which that's the thing that'll get you coming back. Like, I got to conquer that. So just it's just, if you haven't played, go. It really, I mean, it's like we had the blessing of playing Harbortown a couple years ago. Like, I would really argue that from 1 to 18, this is honestly better. I mean, do the pros play there? No, but it's just spectacular.
But the pros don't really play the number 1 course in America either at Pine Valley. So
right, true that.
Pretty unbelievable, though.
And it's not even it's like half the price of Whistling Straits, and
right,
I've heard it's just all right. You got to travel all the way around the lake for that. So
yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. So that was awesome. Next week in Hilton Head, we'll be playing Atlantic Dunes, newly completely renovated in 2016, I believe, by Davis Love III, PGA Championship winner from the 90s. So looking forward to that. We'll review that next time that we chat with you guys.
In a couple weeks, yeah.
Well, real quick, getting to the nitty-gritty of golf, we'll talk real quick. AT&T Byron Nelson this weekend. Jason Day, first win in 5 years. Good for him. He's gone through a lot. He said he almost quit.
He's back,
vertigo, really bad allergies. He's tough SOB, man.
He's been playing well this year,
Former
too.
world number 1.
Mm-hmm.
He won the PGA at Whistling, actually, in 2015. I'm happy for him. He has played well this season. He deserved that. And that was his first win, actually, 12 years ago. Or 13 years ago, I'm sorry. He won AT&T Byron Nelson as his first career win, which is cool. Scotty played well again. Shocking. He's a juggernaut. But yeah, it's PGA Championship week. We go to Oak Hill. Touched on that a little bit earlier, but it was restored in 2019, 2020. Kind of took some trees out, redid some of the bunkers, green complexes, rerouted a little bit to make it more like the first, like it was the first time it was played. Donald Ross design.
Which begs the question, why do they F with these courses to begin with? If you've got a brilliant course, like I get it, sometimes trees grow up and they, over the course of 50, 60, 70 years and they kind of get in the way, or they, they mess with the agronomy and whatever else. But like, generally speaking, why are you messing with greens complexes on a Donald Ross course? Yeah. Why are you, I know why, because the members are like, oh man, we pay so much money and this course is so hard. But you know what? You don't need to shoot a 72, people. Suck it up. live your 85 and just play at an incredible course. Like I don't understand how any of these world-class courses have to go under these restorations. Like they shouldn't need to be restored. They should never be changed from what they are. Like accept what made them great to begin with. And it's just such the, I got to keep up with the Joneses and get my new members and whatever else. No. Don't change that stuff. Like that would be like, Egypt Valley's not in that stratosphere, but that's like going to Egypt Valley and wiping out all the valley and making it flat. Like why would, and then restoring it back? Why would you do that? I mean, that's in essence what they did. And even like a Blythefield where we were members, they recently restored the green complexes there a little bit where, the way that it was originally intended with severe runoffs and stuff and, spit the ball away if you didn't hit your spots. Like, why ever go away from that? I mean, again, it's rhetorical. Yeah. I know why, because members complain about it and then they change it. But, like, why? Why? Save yourself a lot of money. Save yourself a lot of, for the climate change tree huggers. Save yourself a lot of that strife. And then just keep building the course and playing the course and perfecting the course how it was originally laid out.
Right. No, I completely agree. Well, Oak Hill, it's a beautiful property. Weather's looking interesting this week there.
JT, I saw today, was complaining about, he's like, didn't it just snow here 3 weeks ago? And they were giving him a hard time about, no, man, we haven't had that much snow. It was like 3.5 weeks ago. They had like a slush storm, basically. He's like, I don't know, Rochester, New York, upstate New York in May. It's kind of a little dicey. It's like us playing. It's like us playing at Arcadia, on May 12th, or May 13th. You're like, okay, it could be 40 or it could be 80. Like,
it's right on the lake, near the lake. So
what's it going to be? Like, I get it.
I mean, they can't complain. It says Thursday.
That's what happened when you moved the PGA though out of August, right? In August, you had a lot of places, and in the South, it was too damn hot. So, you kind of cut some of the northern courses.
I can see why they might be. I mean, it says Thursday 61 and sunny, Friday 78 and sunny, Saturday, chance of rain, mostly cloudy, high near 70, 60% chance. Sunday, chance of showers, high near 68. That's not bad at all.
That's not horrible.
No, it was last year in Tulsa. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was really hot and then it was really cold. Yeah,
weird weather. But yeah, let's talk about the PGA here. So last year, like you said, JT won in a playoff over Mr. Zalatoris, who's not playing the rest of the season because he's injured. And
then you had the old boy that left for the Live Tour, that
Mito
totally choked on the 18th hole. Blew that tournament.
Pretty good list, though. Obviously, the PGA professionals are playing in it. That's cool. Some guys get the chance to play in a major. That's pretty damn cool. I think there's 17 or 18 Live guys. I'd say 2 or 3 of them have a fighting chance. The rest of them, I don't think. But I also said that about the Masters, and Phil came in second place. I don't think he's going to do that again, but you never know. Just going through some notable names here in this in the field. Abraham Answer. We talked about him the last couple of years a lot. We thought he was really good. He's been god awful on the Live Tour ever since he switched to that hellhole. He's been terrible, and he was doing really well on the PGA Tour. He's been finishing toward the bottom of most Live events. His form is terrible. I don't think he has a chance at winning. That's a guy that was a former top 15 in the world player. Not great. Keegan Bradley, former winner. He's a guy I'd put value on. He's plus 9,000 to win. Potential dark horse. He's in a pretty good.
Playing pretty good. Yeah, sure.
Pretty good 2023. He won one back in the fall. Sam Burns. I like his game. But he's never done anything in a major of use, so I don't know if he can do it. Patrick Cantlay, our best buddy, Mr. Slowpoke. Joey LaCava's his caddy now. Is this where he finally breaks through and gets the major? No, Patrick, we're not dealing with you. Wyndham Clark, another guy. I picked him to win a couple weeks ago at Wells Fargo, and he won it. I think he's a dark horse, could do really well. And this one, Jason Day, he's back. I think he could have a good chance at winning. Bryson, skinny Bryson again. I don't think he's going to win unless he somehow just makes all his putts, which he hasn't been lately. Harris English, another guy I think is a good value pick. He's been playing well this season. Tony Finau, What do you think about him? You think he's got a chance this week?
Yeah, I do. We won't get into picks yet, but yeah, I definitely do.
I like him. Fitzpatrick, I think he's got a real chance. Tommy Fleetwood, I think he's a dark horse, but he's never done anything. He's never won on tour, so who knows? Ricky, could this be the one where he finally breaks through and gets his first major? Maybe. He's been really good this season. I'm happy for him. He's a good man. We'll see. More notables. Homa. I think he's going to do well. Don't know if he'll win. I think he has a better chance at LA Country Club where he just shreds. Victor Hovland, no. I don't like him. I don't
a
like
lot
him.
of guys in Golf Magazine like him.
I don't think he's very... He's
Plus
good.
2,500 or so.
He had a choke in majors. He's not going to do anything. And I saw a video of him yesterday. He's fat. There's a video of him at the airport. He looks like he wobbles. He's a big boy. I thought he was some skinny little guy. Sung J M, could he be a potential dark horse? Yeah. He's a really good iron player, so why not? Dustin Johnson just won the Live event the other day. Don't let him get hot, because when he gets hot, he's hard to beat. Mm-hmm. He hasn't won really. That was his first win since 2021, I think. Excuse me. Other guys, Tom Kim, I think he could do well. I like his game a lot. Brooks Koepka, yes, I believe in him again after his Masters performance. I think this kind of course fits his game really well. We'll see, though. Shane Lowry, the weather turns bad and it rains. Watch out. He's really good in that from being an Irishman. Speaking of Irishman, can Rory get off the snide and put together a nice week?
He's had a rough year.
He's not been very good in 2023. He had a win at the CJ Cup in 2022 in the fall season, but hasn't done much since. He's played pretty poorly. Phil, I don't think he's going to do well. I think he's going to miss the cut, to be honest with you. I think after his antics on Twitter recently, no. Morikawa, I keep seeing his name thrown in there.
Hasn't played that well this year.
I just don't think he's very good. He won, the COVID PGA. Yeah, he played really well, played out of his mind. Then he won the Open his putter's on fire. But the 2 times he's won, his putter has been on fire. Otherwise, he's horrible. If it gets hot, can he play well? Yeah, he's probably the best ball striker in golf. But I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to make the cut, to be honest with you. Other notables to talk about, Rahm, he's like plus 700 to win. Highest odds. He's a beast. Top 10 waiting to happen in this event, to be honest with you. Flat out stud. Hopefully Patrick Reed chokes on his own spit. Scotty Scheffler, another guy that I think is going to play really well this week. Played well this season. He's got 2 wins already. Why not a third and second major? Adam Scott, big-time dark horse. He's played really well the last month. Hasn't played particularly well in majors since winning, really, in 2013 at Augusta. But I think he's due for a good week. I could see it. This kind of course fits what he likes to do. Hit irons. Cam Smith played really well at the Live event the other day. I think he can contend. He's probably the best putter in golf right now. Could see that. Spieth, we don't know what we're going to get. If he's healthy, if he's not hurting, I think he can contend, but I don't know if he is healthy with that wrist injury. I hope he is. I want to see him get the Grand Slam, but who knows? He's a roller coaster no matter what, so time shall only tell. Sahith Theegala, dark horse. I want to see him win. That'd be awesome. JT, he's been pretty bad since last year winning. I think he's only had 2 top 10 since winning the PGA last year. I think he's due for a big week. He's a good man. And then Cam Young. He's from New York, so it's a little homecoming for him. But if you haven't seen this course, Oak Hill, look it up on YouTube, Google it, whatever. Gorgeous property. The rough is super thick. Very hilly, actually. pretty fun. Some stream, some water on that course, deep bunkers. Looks like a beaut. Let's just get to our picks here. All right, foursome for major as always. I told you I was going to pick the winner and the score like I did with Grom back at the 2021 U.S. Open. I picked the exact score that he was going to shoot. I hope I can do that again. Who you got for your four?
I got Xander, Ricky,
Okay.
Brooksy, and Tony.
Okay, I like it. I like.
I think the thing about the PGA is it minus Brooks out of this list. It's a tournament that kind of a journeyman type of thing. Player can win, like somebody who maybe isn't equipped to win a U.S. Open, or can't. The game doesn't travel over to the Open. And Masters is just in a league of its own. I think PGA courses are just a little different, certainly than U.S. Open setups, and you often see, not that it's always kind of the one-shot guys, but it's kind of the place where a lot of the single major champions, I feel like, get that single major.
Yep, I agree.
The Davis Love types and, the...
What's his name?
Some of those other...
Who's our boy that's on Azinger?
Right, Zinger. Some guys like that. I feel like that's why I like any of these guys. Obviously, Brooks has won it twice, but I think any of them have the game to do it. Ricky's been playing quietly better and better. I still think, even though he's in his almost mid-30s now, he's due. And so is Xander. He's due for a breakthrough because he's too good of a player not to win a major.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's been knocking on the door for a while. My four, Justin Thomas. I think he's going to play really well. Cam Young, homecoming. He's played well in majors in the past. Mr. Fitzpatrick, he loves hard conditions. And if it's the rough stick, all this stuff, I think he's going to do well. And Mr. Brooks Koepka, who I believe will win this thing with a score of 10 under par. That's my bet. Sticking to it. I think he's going to have a huge week.
Wouldn't surprise me to see Rahm or Scheffler, but it's like they're
too
weekend
obvious,
and weekend.
like.
It is. It feels like it's too obvious. If this was the U.S. Open, it might be a little different story for me. But PGA, again, I think there's some wild cards that come into play in the PGA.
I agree. I think there's going to be some interesting. There always are. I mean, like last year, Mito Pereira. No one knew who the hell that weirdo was going into that, and now he's on live, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, all right. So I guess we'll see how things go Thursday. The games begin. Looking forward to watching that this week. All right, time for a sprint. Saw this on Golf Digest. They always have fun what ifs or what would you rather do golf questions. So I stole this from them. Would you rather beat a tour pro but then not win a round for another 3 years, or beat your best friend or your guy that you play with every single time?
Beat a pro and never play again for 3 years?
No, beat a tour pro but in a round of golf, but never win another round for the next 3 years.
Oh, well, I would beat a PGA pro because that means I probably shot like a 70, which would be a career best.
So you'd rather do that?
Yeah.
I'd rather win every time.
I already win every time. I'm getting tired of winning every time. I win every time against you.
I hate losing.
I'm like 37-2 the last 2.5 years against you, so...
I'll take steroids.
I need to play a pro and shoot a 70.
I already kind of touched on this, but do you think there'll be higher or lower scoring at Oak Hill this week?
I think that 10-12 is probably a pretty good number. I mean, the rough is...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
The rough
big.
is
pretty damn thick.
And especially around the traps and things like that, I think, I'm sure the length is ungodly, but the length doesn't matter to those guys anymore.
Bad.
So
there's only 2 par 5s, obviously.
Good. Yeah, so I think I could see 10-12 right around in there.
10. Mm-hmm. The last time it was played there, Duffner won it at 10 under, and that was a course record. And
the course should be harder than
yes,
right?
Yes, absolutely. I saw this earlier too. Best fast food chicken sandwich.
Ooh, I still never had the Popeyes spicy one, but I bet you that's really
Those are
good.
both really good.
Best fast. I mean, it's really hard to argue with Chick-fil-A because that's what they do.
Yeah,
They're kind of in a league of their own, so I'm going to put them to the side. That seems like a no-brainer. So out of like the burger joint chicken places, because they don't do chicken regularly, Wendy's.
Yeah, Wendy's.
Wendy's spicy chicken.
I'll say Chick-fil-A, but a very good dark horse. Shake Shack fried chicken sandwich, pretty damn.
I'll tell you who also has a good spicy chicken sandwich is actually Burger King.
I've never had that, and I've never had a McChicken either.
That's a McBeak. You don't want that. It's like basically a bunch of chicken nuggets molded together.
Gross. Last one. Which conference will be the first? Which I should say, which major conference will be the first to cease to exist?
Pac-12.
That's what I said as well. I think it's going down.
Pac-12 or ACC, one of those two. Those are your first two choices, I think. The Big 12 kind of bolstered itself and has enough. Like, I think what they'll do is just kind of become almost like a mid-major.
Yeah.
But I think the Pac-12, I think a lot of that's going to probably get absorbed to the Big 10. And I think the ACC is going to get absorbed to the SEC.
Yeah, probably a lot of it. Maybe the Big Ten will grab like a Syracuse or Boston College, something like that. Who knows? Uncharted waters that we don't want to be in, but we have to be because greed and stupidity
Rules
per usual. All right, that's 124 of these bad boys. Appreciate you guys listening to the pod. Leave us a comment, like it. Tell us we suck. I don't care.
You got 2 weeks to give us some ideas for talking
let
about.
us know what you want us to hear. Let us know who you're picking for the PGA this week. We'd love to hear that. If you have any good sneaky bets or anything like that, we're always game for that. But appreciate you guys listening. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Don't get too sad with not hearing our voices next week. Wink, wink.
In the meantime, as Roy Tin Cup McAvoy once said, I hit it again because that shot was a defining moment. And when a defining moment comes along, you define the moment, or the moment defines you.